this out real quick.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Go. Sweet.
All right. Welcome everyone to Mahon Gaming. This is going to be the final Sanctuary Tour immersive survival. Insert other things in boxes to make this sound more awesome. Anyway, so if you've been on Reddit, you've seen quite a few postings of this. I did each house differently. I made it to seem like it would be part of this world, and I envisioned it to be something that maybe the settlers or the main character of the story, how they would rebuild it without actually rebuilding it. I love some of the houses like that because I thought it'd just add more character to it. So let me walk to the front while guys on the roof. Don't worry about that. It happens all the time. Normal. He's normal. All right. Oh, getting some lag. All right. That's what happens. I'll tell you why this is going on. Here's Curry. Thank you. So I built this from the ground up. The only thing that I did not destroy in this or scrap in this entire settlement was the houses that you can scrap without scrapping mods, as you noticed before. But I just wanted to make it clear, just so everyone can see it. Yep. So I left the sign. I left the original trash dumpster. This flag is actually from We Are the Minutemen, and it's actually a guard post, so they'll stand in front of it. And I have another invisible guard post sitting right here. But each building was planned. Each building had a purpose. So another YouTuber named Sardeliak, me and him had a back and forth about whether or not using place everywhere, which I use and he doesn't. He's a very scrappy, wants to makes all of his builds look shitty, and I respect that, and I love the way he builds. But the way I want to build is exactly how he put it. When you do something to this degree, with this much detail, you have to have a plan. You can't go in and just throw a whole bunch of stuff up and expect it to work. If you don't have a plan when you have so many mods working with it's not going to look right.
I lost track of how many blisters I got.
So when I started to do the guardhouse here in the front, I wanted it to look as if when traders come in, they'll stop at this desk, check in, and then work their way into the settlement. What people don't know is that this desk is actually a guard station. It just looks like it's important. But I have a guard that usually sits there sometimes, and I have a guard that stands right here, just in case someone gets out of hand. And then once he's done with the paperwork, he files it back here and goes about his business. So yeah.
Yes.
I've learned a lot while doing this much detail in such a big settlement that my advice to anyone that does this, do it at least once so you can figure out a few things about how you build, how much crap you can throw in a settlement before your system starts to wind down and start yelling at you. Cause mine did. I'll tell you at what point it did when I started to do it.
The Raiders thought we were easy pickings. We showed them different.
Yes, you did. This guy I actually made with We Are the Minutemen, but the armor piece and the way he looks is from the mod Far West Minutemen. They come in different shapes and sizes. It's just pretty cool how the mod author made it. The Minutemen look more, you know, steampunk is what he was. I think is where he was trying to go with that Far West look.
Hey, General.
But everything, as for settlement, everything has a purpose. Everything works in a way that I wanted it to. This guard hut actually is destructible, and every once in a while I'll come back after an attack and the top will be blown off and some of the boards will be laying on the floor or up in the air, like that one. Just, I can't do anything about that. It just happens. So, all the trees that you see here, all the bushes, I landscaped it to look like this, to give it a feel that the Minutemen came in here, chopped down the trees, build the barricade, put up the barbed wire, and then that tree was and all the stuff around it was hand placed. It's just, you gotta have a purpose for what it looks like. I just wanted to give it that feel that it was still natural, still organic to the world. And also there's like a spawn, the spawn point I think is like right here or something, so it just keeps them from rushing everything. That's why the turnip's up there. Usually he stands right there, but I don't know. He's a Far West Minuteman extremist. Each one has their own name, and they come with different guns. I have another one in here that has a laser Gatling gun walking around. So this is. Let me go to the first house that I made. I'll explain it from there because it'll be like if you watch the videos in order, you'll understand. So the first one I did was the original OG house, and I did a lot of detail for this, more than I probably should have now that I look at it, and sometimes more is less. And it's a very difficult balance when building certain things. So this was the first thing I built. I just stuck a washer and dryer, put a board down and some center blocks for balance, and then put the gun on top of it. That thing has no one's ever killed it yet that I've noticed. On top of that, this is a metal plate that I placed down. Because if you place it on wood, it usually would burn or something, but, I mean, yeah. And it looks different because I placed another mod on top of this that's not in my other videos. How it's called? It's like NB lighting enhancer or something like that, and it changes the lights. You'll see the look on certain lights, that especially in the trading, the string of lights, they all look different. They are a little bit more bright. So in here, Sturgis's workshop, that power armor set right there is actually a scavenging station that he uses from time to time. And I went way overboard when I did detail for this.
Thought we were easy pickings, but we showed them different.
You sure did. All right. And in this, I had destructible fuel cells in here, but sometimes when you come back to your settlement after a while. They'll be all over the place, so I had to get rid of them. And then this is the original T-45 power armor that was sitting in Concord that you first get, but unfortunately I had to pick these pieces off of a gunner who kindly slipped into it before anyone else could and stole it. So everything that I did was supposed to have, I made it so that it made sense. I had maybe a story to it. The Sturges would use this equipment, rebuild the power armors, and send people out. Well, the beacons. Stealth boy up there. That's actually flammable. It's from CVC, I think it is. And there's another Far West Minuteman.
We taught those
The
raiders
doctor.
a lesson. We'll teach them again if they come back.
I think he is a traditionalist. And each one will have a name instead of just settler. So that's another mod that I have.
Yes?
It'll give every settler a name instead of it just being settler 1, 2, or 3. So in here, this is the original cow shells leaned up against the wall. It's the chair, all the tables. That table over here was the one that was back there.
You've done real good for these people.
Um,
General?
I think that's a new table, because I think the original table had like candles on it or something. And yeah, when I built this, I wanted to have a homely feel to it. I wanted to have it look cozy in a sort of a post-apocalyptic way. This bed right here is actually like 2 shelves put together with other shelving. I think it's from Do Your Shelf, and then the 2 dresser drawers up top are from there as well. And then this back piece is from another mod. I can't name off the top of my head, and then I dropped the bed on top of it. Locker just stuck in there for the closet. Drinks. Kids side. Propaganda for the kids during the Minutemen. That's a barrel stuck in there. It's like their oven or something. Food. It's just decorating in a way that people haven't seen, or something new that someone could use. Dropping stoves into the counters so it just looks like it's a stove, the top of the stove. Yeah, instead of the original.
You remind me of myself when I was a young woman. Always getting myself into trouble.
Center blocks, and then all of this is just like outside pieces. Scrapped walls. That's like an end cap piece. And I just stuck a whole bunch of scrap metal on top of it, give it a character. Lean some pallets up against it. And this power station
Thank
here
you. It's like I can finally think straight.
for Sheffield here. This board piece right here is a scavenging station. He gets up here and starts pounding on it. Gave him some tools and stuff. Some wood he grabs and tries to build it, make it more stable. And I was kind enough not to block this because this animation is still there.
This place isn't awful. It's still a hold, but it could be worse.
And then, yeah, I was like, it would have been easy. I could just stick a ladder on this and then called it a day, but instead I decided to throw the ladder up against the stove. I think that's a washer back there, and a dresser on top of a metal dresser. Threw the chair up there for decoration. And some plywood. Yeah. Scrappy. But that's like, it's a lot of detail. That's a lot of work just to make it look different than what you're used to, but it's unnecessary, to be completely honest. Looks cool though. It's for like a showcase. Like, here's what you can do. So yeah, put a billboard up there. Nuka-Cola. That top one doesn't do any power. It's just there for looks. Expansion. So yeah, and then in the back of this is a water tower. There's a water tank underneath for more water. That actually produces power from another mod, CVC. And you just make it look scrappy. Like the whole purpose of each one of these walls that you see up against all these houses is for support. Because after 200 plus years, like, a lot of these walls wouldn't be as strong enough to hold as much as you think. The reinforcement. And then there's this garbage. This is when you know you've gone over the cap. When certain things start floating around because your computer is like, well, I'm just going to put it everywhere. Planted fungus here and some other scrap that Stir just throws over the side. Dead robot in the computer. Stuff that you don't really need because you won't see it unless you look at it. The stuff that's really unnecessary. So it's kind of like the stuff that when I built this, I learned a lot from it because of that. And then here's the player's home. Stuck a couple of rocks down in this statue of the Minutemen. With a purpose. Gave it some bushes and planted some trees and made it look homely. The switch. Goes both ways. I close on this, there you go. I was gonna do a lot more with this. I was gonna put like mines in here. Because my this character is an explosive expert.
Please, let me see and scan as many indigenous life forms as possible.
And then here's our player home, regular stuff, man. Kitchen. This is supposed to be like the map of the Commonwealth where she maps out each settlement, sends people to, and takes notes where all the dangerous areas are. This is where the Minutemen. This is where you can. This is where the guards come from. You just buy them. All my provisioners are from here. Sanitary is the medic chick that's walking around. They're all different. You can build some of the equipment here, but not all of it. There's some stuff that you can only get if those guys die. Like the backpack right here that my character's wearing, I picked up from it. Shells. That was clever. I just stuck a metal piece underneath. Ran a connection rod tube up the top. There you go. Just makes it make it look like it can hang there without, you know, defying the laws of gravity. So in this part, I was going to do a shrine to Adam once my character got to Fire Harbor, and I was going to decorate this with a whole bunch of decorations from out there, the green bottles and all that stuff. I have the mod for it. I just never got out there to do it. Washer and dryer. This room. This character is part of the railroad. So when she moves a synth around, she'll store one back here just in case they need to have a safe space. There's a clock and a fan, a couple stuff to feed himself with until she's ready to move him. That was the whole idea for there. I didn't do much with this. The only thing I added was the towels and toothbrush and stuff. Probably should have added toilet paper. Just some barrels for storage, nothing much. So this room was an extension of the railroad. So if like Deacon or someone, a railroad agent came by, they could stay in here, get new orders from HQ, or someone needed help, you radio in. Deacon was here, he changed his look, closed the curtain. What it was all part of. There's a safe back there hidden, more stuff for a railroad to work with. And here's the player homes, bed and personal storage. I was gonna make her heavy guns at one point and use this thing, but it shoots 2 shots. I never got around to it. It's deadly. But this right here, I actually built this. You can see me build this in a playthrough for this one. And it's actually her bed just stuck into the safety of it. It's pretty cool. I saw this on Fallout 4 guy. He did this, but he did a little bit more elaborate. He had more stuff around it. I just tilted it, put it in the ground, and then shoved this whole contraption into it. Yeah. And then in the back of this, it's a guard station, and that's where her power comes from for this house. Guard station overlooks that point, and then that's a pillbox that has like 2 turrets in it that help watch this. Because there's a spawn point back there for raiders. I was gonna dress it up with like ammo stock in here. That's all fake mute fruit. Scrappy look inside. Those are warehouse pieces with more slapped on metal sheets.
The sun is setting.
Yep.
Make sure to stay warm.
And then this is what I was talking about when I was talking about making this little something organic. So there's a rock here, and I just placed the pathway on top of it, and then gave it that look. And it's uneasy and just leans up against the rock. So everything doesn't look as straight, doesn't look like one way. It's all crooked. Has character to it. Part of a doghouse from CVC. There's a couple of them in here that are different. If you notice, I don't build like the high walls around here. They're like these fences I rebuilt, but if raiders want to get in here, they can try to get in here. But I saw there's I got some guns on them. Now for the next house I did. Actually, I didn't even do this, the player's home, until like later. This one's the communications for salvage beacons. It's, if you have a... Oh, no problem, man. Are you talking about, the tower that I built yesterday? Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, salvage beacons. There's a mod that King Gath made called Salvage Beacons, and the whole purpose of this house was for that. So this truck right here is guard station. I forgot what what mod it's from, but the guy will sit in the back of the truck and read a newspaper. So it's just a regular house done a different way. Each thing has its place, and maybe too overdone. You can really get out of hand with do-it-yourself, or it's too much. I see it on a lot of other people's mods that you'll watch them, and if you mod a lot, you'll see the mods that they use and what mod they like the most and how much they use it. That picture right there was just shrunk with place everywhere. Gave it a little bit more character. Oh, no problem, Tyler. Oh, wait. Are you from Sardaliac's channel when I linked the what did I link you? Was it the medic I linked you? So this is just another way of doing a kitchen. Setting it up. Do yourself. Yeah, and then the coffee mugs. Those are actually meat hooks stuck up into the shelving, and then I just position the mugs to hang. That's just a toolbox just stuck in there. You put like your dishware and stuff in there. Ah, cool. Yeah. It's just the way you want to build a house. It's really just playing house for most of these places. It's just how to decorate it. You've seen how SAR builds, right? And now you look at this and it's a completely different way of doing it. Now back here, this
If you ain't been up to see Grey Garden, you should go.
This poor guy.
It's run by robots.
This is a salvage beacon station. So if you don't know what this mod does, it's the greatest mod for survival. Because what it does is if you're out in the Commonwealth and you get loaded down with junk, find a container, put all your junk in it, and you craft these salvage beacons at the chemistry station. Drop the salvage beacon in it with all the junk in there, tell which settlement you want to go to, and 2 guys and a Brahmin will come pick up your junk and take it to that settlement with all the junk. So if you want to, like, for example, we'll do College Square. College Square is, you can get all the junk from College Square, put it in one of the containers, and then send it to a settlement. I absolutely love and endorse that mod. All the weapons, Righteous Authority, Dan's gun. So, and then the shelving. This decoration of how I did this was from Fallout 4 guy. He did something like this, and then I just took it over. It was a great idea. Put some posters on the walls and just kept it simple. More lockers where the closet used to be.
It is hard to determine whether the surface is more or less susceptible to outbreaks.
Thank you, Carrie.
Prevention plan is never a bad idea.
And this is the first guard tower that I built. Very scrappy. Not a lot of walls. This part of it right here, that's just one pillar, and then I slapped a whole bunch of scrap metal. There's like no real solid wall there. Whereas like the others, there is walls and then it's placed on there. But yeah, I wanted to give this one a different look. And my spotlight from Automatron is broken. It just sits there. I don't know why. Settlement size bars. I know I set this one up to be 12 times 12. As to how many I went through, It's probably on 9 if I was to take a guess. And I can feel it. I felt it after I did the bar, and you'll see why when I show you the bar over here. Pretty much it has to do with the lighting. The lighting, the scale size of the lighting and how the shadows work is, I really felt it in my computer. And I'm running like my graphics card, man's a Titan XP, and I felt it after a while. This tower right here, this is from G2 mod. The canvas that sits on top and the way that the screening put on there is pretty cool. It just snaps together. Pretty nice. And this stupid thing, this APC that's colored like this is from a mod from We Are the Minutemen, and it actually adds 10 defense to your settlement. There's a tank that adds 15. Pretty easy if you want to boost up your defense. I only used one. That'll look cool right here. So I have that guard tower for that guard. I have the guy that sits in the truck over there, and then I have another guard station right here. So I have these 3 guards, and then on top of that, this laser turret is the only laser turret I have. And then that will lead to the public occurrence and the detective agency house. Some fake mute barrels. Those 2 were in the back of this house. I just put them in the front for decoration. So this whole place, I just wanted to combine. The story was that Piper's in this settlement, so she does the newspaper from here, and then Nick sits over here and takes care of detective cases. So when someone comes in, we can have a coffee, sit down, tell Nick all about the problems, and then Piper can write the story. Boom, 2 in 1. That's how we roll with that one. Hanging pots. That's from, oh my god, 30 different mods. I don't know. Forgot what mod that was. I have to make a mod video for this, just to show how many mods people would have to work with just to put this in. If I was gonna do like a blueprint. Those are just shelving just stuck into the wall. Those batteries are produced 2 power apiece. It's from CVC. It's pretty cool. And then another shelving unit. That shelving unit is from the same mod that does this. The hanging pots and pans. Yep, high-tech ceiling light. This Piper only uses this because Nick doesn't really, need to use the bathroom. This is Piper's room. Dark. Books. That shelving unit's pretty unique. Makes for stories. Pretty simple. Nick's on the hand is a little different. It's just a couch. That couch is actually a
We must find the men of science and institutes of learning.
a bed.
Surely they are out there still.
And then here's all these detective cases that it looks over. Pretty interesting. Like it's just building a story. What everything was about for doing this. And immersive. And this actually looks like garage door. And then this is a scavenging station for one of my people. Floating handcuffs. Ooh. Detail everywhere in this. This was the 4th farm that I put in. Those are fake mute fruit. One of my dogs. Smoke station back here. There's one of my settlers. Yeah, just building something different. Just showing a different way of doing stuff. I was gonna put plants up there, potted plants, but I never got around to it. All built up. The water tank produces about, I think, 10 water. Something different. Now we get to the vault surplus trading hub that I did. That chair is actually a guard station, so I kept the original car here, just built around it. We got like a bag back here, threw a chair in the back, scrapped it up. So you can keep an eye on the trading hub and the front door. And then back here, I made this little bad boy. So what this was supposed to be is that there was supposed to be, if you ever go to like a gas station nowadays, you see the propane tanks sitting outside. This is kind of supposed to be what that was. I was going to put like shelving in here and then put these sideways and put them in one by one. But I was like, yeah, I'll just do it like this. Probably keep all the toxic and flammable stuff. Instead of a wall, I used the truck for defense back here. Tires and whatnot. For support. And then I have these signs for most of my stores. Here's public occurrence. Pick up a newspaper and go. Free water. Each one of those letters on there is a separate letter. It's from Scrappy Letters, I think is the mod. And so what the mod author did was he went through all the signs in Fallout 4 and then separated them so that you can use them separately. He did a lot of them, but not everything. And that arrow's from Good Neighbor. That points to the open sign. From the same mod. And here is Vault Tech Trading Hub. Placed everything. If you need some fishing traps, fans, globes, a TV, cameras, books placed in the box, old newspapers, pumpkins, small boat. I was gonna put some in there, but I forgot what I was gonna put. That was from Do It Yourself. Some of it. The books aren't. I placed the books up there. Bobblehead. What else did I place? I don't know. I placed this thing. I don't know what that is. This is canisters, I guess. Nuka-Cola machine with some Nuka-Cola. Cola. Beer, food. This is regular stuff that you find in a normal general goods store.
The influx of data is hard to process. Apologies if sometimes I make little sense. I will work on this.
And back here from the Comatron. So this I just did like a regular storage. I didn't get too fancy with it. I didn't want to get too dramatic with it is what I want. I just wanted regular stuff in here to make it look like it was storage instead of just destroying it like I did this. Here's this bathroom that I use as plunger. You can actually use that. Decorate up just a little bit, but not a lot. And here's his room. It's his chair he sits down at every day and thinks about all the horrors he went through his life. Yeah, Voltec. Nuka-Cola boxes. Personal storage, piss bucket at night. I don't know why I put that there. Yeah. And he's trying to get into this safe. Like, I'll get in there. But yeah, that's him. And then this was my challenge. I challenged myself, put a kitchen in here to make it a hallway kitchen. Because me and my wife always make fun of when I see hallway kitchens. Oh, we look at houses. That barrel right there is from G2. It's from their decoration tab, and it's destructible. And I didn't know it until I put it in there, and it started to destroy itself. So I kind of left it. Just adds more character to it. Maybe Vault-Tec guy had to get in there and fix the piping, I guess. But he also shares this house. Instead of a door, I put a curtain. It's a random settler's bed. This stuff. I think it's one of my guards. And then this is Sheffield's bed. So this bed is actually an idea from Fallout 4 guy who did a turret over at Red Rocket across the river there. And he showed me, it's in one of his videos, I think. I'd have to find it again. But he stuck the scaffolding up top, put another one underneath it, and then put the wood, and then deleted the bottom part, and then put the turret on top. So I used that instead for a bed. But I use it over there on Red Rocket as well. It's just a different way of decorating. Instead of just planting a bed on the floor like everyone else does. Be a little creative with it. That's why the ladder's in there, so we can jump in there. More decorations, miniatures. Sheffield's gotta have his Nuka-Cola. So outside, and these two benches right here are for my salvage team. Because when they come back, they'll stop right here and they'll just sit on the benches until the game tells them to disappear. And around the side, more junk against the wall for the traders. Couch. And then here, I actually have invisible mats that when settlers aren't doing anything, the mats will attract them and they'll do stuff while on the mats. So right here, there's a beer drinking one. And over here, there's a jet. I hide away back there and do naughty things. And then this is Lucas and Cricket's shop that I made. So I'm going to give you guys some advice. There's a mod. If you use this mod, be very careful with it when planting or rearranging it. So in thematic practical, if you do all of the Bunker Hill quest to get the traders outpost to put in your settlements, and then like Doc Hall, the Doctor, Cricket, Trash Can Carla, they'll all come to that one spot. So with this mod, you can separate them. But the thing is, their Brahmin have a close... If you want to think about it like this, there's a chain that connects them to the Brahmin, and the Brahmin will always be at hip level with Cricket or Lucas or whoever the trader is. And they're supposed to be out here because this is supposed to attract them, but it doesn't. So they sit inside. So if you ever build a shop with that mod, be prepared to have the Brahmin close by. So I made it as scrappy as I could outside. Put the signs up. This is wood storage for Lucas. There's a power armor set back there. Line of pride protection. There's the guards. There's a guard. There's a smoke station right there, and there's another guard station against this wall. And there's a guard station here, and right where that person is. This is a cricket side. Guns behind the fence. This is Lucas's side where all the armor is.
Stick to the roads, and you got a better chance of surviving.
Chem boxes for cricket. Storage. For the two of them. Lucas is back there somewhere. Like I said, the Brahma will sit close to him. So when you build from that mod, be very careful not to put it in a house like this. Otherwise, this is what happens. Cricket's armory state or weapon station back there.
What? This place just has farmers?
Yep.
Shit. All they want are pipe pistols and stupid ammo. Or is the maniac slow right?
And there's a path back here that'll lead to the original house and to the farm that's back there. And I mean another path back here. Another water tank, but this time I made it so that it's drinking out of the river. So it's pulling everything out of the river and then filtering it and storing it for later. I built a little bridge over it. Fire barrel. Here, there's one of the 3 farms back here. Deathclaw egg. Deathclaw hand. Jurassic Park reference. There's the owl houses, just in case you need a quickie. So, I recently built this to connect everything up. So this will go to the bar, the clinic, and the tailor shop over there, and this will connect to the front and then to the rest of the farm stations. And then this was a tower I built the other day because it felt empty over here and I needed something to protect the boat. So up here, through all this crazy stuff, is a guard station. The only thing it guards is if raiders will come around this corner right here of this house. Because I think I have the shrub blocked off. So there's a point back there, and if they don't go toward the houses, they'll run around here. Very scrappy. That was the point of this. I just wanted to put it together. A couple of pieces. Feels like it's gonna just fall over, but that was the point. Support beams underneath it. With this. And then back here is the USS Mahon. This is where I stuck my artillery piece. Good old boat. So I have a guy that usually stands there. I don't know where he moses off somewhere. Or he could be under the boat or in the water. So it's all original. So when I built this, there's electronics that I think it's in CVC. There's an electronics tablet, and it's like red, blue, black, and chrome. I just built these out of the red electronic pieces in there. Stuck a steering wheel on it, another wheel for something else, and then there's a wood piece from, I don't know where the hell that came from. Decorated it up. The TV is supposed to be sonar, so you can see underneath the boat. And the sonar for that is for these barrels. So if you watch like old World War II movies, they're called sub-hunters. So they'll pull there's a lever in there, pull it, the wood piece drops, and then these barrels dive down deep into the water and explode after a time limit. Mostly for what the idea was that it was for like if the mirelurks are in the water and they have to go clear them out, they'll drop these barrels in it. And then this is where the mortar shells will sit, and they'll load it into the artillery piece and rain down wherever I need them. Around the boat. The microphone was for the loudspeakers. So yeah, that was the gunboat I did. I also stuck a anchor on it. So now I'm gonna go up to the piece of this whole place where I felt my machine start to eat it a little. Improvised steps. 2 shelling units and a broken bench. You still get up there with these. As a guard station or a doghouse. I just stuck the lantern on top of it. So this, the blue light, you'll see why, because there's so many lights in here. This is what started to lag into my system. Stuck some benches out here. And then as you can see, everyone's in here. These are the neon lights that you can adjust. There's the L's and T's in there. There's someone in there.
Nothing stays hidden forever.
If I was to do this whole bar over again, I wouldn't have done it like this. It's not scrappy enough. In my eyes, it more looks like something out of Cyberpunk. And this just looks too modern. But I saw it. Most of my ideas when I was doing this settlement, I was looking on Pinterest and looking for post-apocalyptic scenes. And apparently a bar from New York or Seattle came up and it had like this style to it. So I just interpreted into Fallout and did it this way. Fake plants and stuff. Yeah. On this side is just where all the regulars hang out. Two different bar tabs. That's the original counter that was in this house that you can't really move without special mods. Sunk a bucket into it and then put a whole bunch of beer and Nuka-Cola in it. Be ice on the bottom of it. Whole idea.
I'm feeling swell.
I'm sure you are, buddy.
Look at the two of us here
Public
in
bathroom.
Sanctuary, prepared for the future.
Funny stuff on the wall. For anyone to crash is back here. This is for the bartender. Shelving unit's just stuck into the wall. It's nothing too fancy. This is when I was starting to be like, I had to pull back from the detail of just from the first houses to when I got to this one. I was starting to pull back because the bar itself was just overdone. Storage, nothing much. But yeah, after I did this bar and loaded it back up, and I started to do the clinic, I was feeling the GPU starting to choke a little. So this is a perfect example of Carla, Trash Can Carla. So her sign is just a trash can with her name on it, Carla. That's her. That's the Brahmin, and that's the Brahmin. This is where it's supposed to be, and that's where it is. It's a game. So Trash Can Carla is supposed to have a shop with a whole bunch of trash. I built a box right here, and I put like a whole bunch of crap in it. It was filled to the brim at one point, and over time, as I went to explore, and I came back, stuff just started to sink into the ground. I don't know how some of these YouTubers do it, but what it is. It's supposed to be a scrappy shop where you can, like a flea market. You just go in and grab some, and she'll tell you the price. That was the whole idea of all of this. That's her thematic and practical scavenging station. So sometimes just blowtorch the shit out of it. Here is the dog pen where I get all my dogs. Pretty self-sufficient. Did that one. This is the final farm. The one Brahmin I have. And June just likes to stand in a shack all day. That's his farm. He does all that.
Life still ain't perfect.
I don't care.
We're surviving.
Good job. So after I did all these houses, I was looking at this area and going, what am I gonna do here? I just left it. Sometimes you don't really need to decorate anything once you have it. I mean, the whole purpose of the settlement is to, if you try to delve into the minds of the devs of Fallout 4 and what they were thinking with this, is the only thing that you really need this settlement for is to have a place to sleep if you do survival, make endless amounts of adhesive once you get your farms running, and have endless amounts of pure water. That's it. But it's, for some of us that build, it's fun to do. Planting all these trees. Yeah. It's, to me, when I do stuff like this, it's like making a scene. Like, what can I make this look like organically that would fit this area? So put a dog house. The truck frame that was sitting here, I put back along the wall here to keep them raiders or super mutants that come through the door from adventuring out too far, because I wanted to come straight at this turret that's in here and my guard. So built it up. There's a truck in the bushes, and these bushes weren't originally there. I planted them and put the truck in, and I was like, so I saw a picture on Pinterest of a truck, the whole bunch of stuff growing around it. And I tried to represent that as best I could right here. A whole bunch of trash. So there's like nothing back there, and I blocked that off. So there's the spawn point, like right there. This gun turret is sitting on a truck, but that's a base, small little base for it. 4 posts, and then all that's just wood planks just stuck on top of it. This is supposed to be a door. There it is. In case it gets destroyed, I fix it. Shrunk it so it would fit. And then this APC, that's a guard station right there too. It's a visible rogue guard station. So she goes from there to there. I think she goes one more place, but it doesn't matter. So this APC, my whole idea was, in the beginning of the game, you see people running about and you see these APCs. So they had one up here, left it. No one decided to do anything with it. Trash piled up. And my other story with this was someone tried to build a shack, or had a shack here at one point, or a house living next to this APC, and over time it just deteriorated and nothing's been done to it, so it just stood there. And now the settlers and the Minutemen of the area use it as a storage unit. And now for the clinic. This is the most scariest clinic. Well, probably not, but it's pretty... If you ever worked in the medical field and you see this, it's pretty scary. Don't care. Now, the waiting room. on platforms, wood base, stairs, put the walls up, put a L couch in it. And these are supposed to be like the forms that you would get from the lady behind the desk to fill out before you get seen or before you go into surgery. Coffee for those who need to wait, books to read, wheelchairs for those who need it. Dr. Anderson is supposed to be here, but I don't know where she's at. So if you need a real emergency, she'll put you on this gurney and start working on the ASAP. Uses what she has. Woo. I was gonna do something. I was gonna put a candle in there or something. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Shelving unit. This is do it yourself. Well, besides those two. And then this was supposed to be a clean room. So if you ever see like a television show with the doctors, they'll go into a clean room, wash their hands, or scrub. And then I was gonna put like lab coats in here for them to wear. Clean lab coats. Here's the lab where they find stuff, make vaccines, cure the cures, cure the diseases. Periodic table, x-ray, more chems, stuff to wash, eye station, just in case you get some in your eyes, skeleton to point out where it hurts, batteries. So this ceiling that you see right here is from some debris. I forgot the name of the mod. It's like debris something blah blah blah, and it has these pieces where it looks like the ceiling had collapsed and it gives all the wires. So the idea was that in here they took these batteries and connected through the wiring that had been shown in the ceiling to power the rest of the house. And that cart is also part of it. CVC power supply with the batteries, and you could stick like 6 batteries on there if you want. Each one gives 2 power. So back here was for doctors if they need to rest, and patients after they're done with the surgery. Private shower back there. Clothing, and then here's the surgery room. Clipboards, notes. That was the clipboard on the back of the gurneys. How you see it in today's. I was gonna stick like one of these pieces of paper back there. It comes from debris, but I couldn't. It won't allow me to tilt it the way that I want to. It's once it's set, and the only way to get rid of the debris that you set from that mod is to actually go into console and type disable and point at it so you get the number. The Minutemen rebuilding America or rebuilding you, just in case. These tool chests are to hold all the scalpels and stuff that the doctors need. And if you work in the medical field and you know what code blue means, that's a crash cart. So if one of your patients is in cardiac arrest, you bust this out and try to save them. So if you're ever in a hospital and you hear code blue, it's cardiac arrest. It's universal, pretty much. So, outside of the clinic and the tailoring shop, that gate, sometimes the raiders, super mutants, or whatever will come around, enter this gate, and then figure out that they can't leave this area. So I have this turret here, and that guard will run over, or people from the clinic or the tailor shop will run out and just destroy raiders in here because they can't do anything, and they won't run back out. They'll just stay in here behind the fences and just get murdered. Alright. So, for the final house. Alright, for the final house. This is Kelly's clothing. I named it after my wife. she does tailoring. And then at some point later, when I get the equipment, me and her are going to actually start showing uh, how we create our LARPing clothing, armor, and building weapons. So later on, when we get the stuff, we're gonna build this channel a little bit more for that. But I'm still gonna game, still gonna show off Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 and anything Bethesda makes. That's for sure. For now, till they pull an EA. But I digress. Let's keep it on track here. So that sign is just like Vault-Tec guys down there. Stuck all the different letters together, banner, flowers,
Flowers. What brighten this place up?
just like what she said. So here's the idea of the shop. If you ever been to a Joann Fabrics, they'll have fabric just laying about.
Wonderful radio.
All right, you done?
You should listen sometime.
So you take the fabric, bring it over to her, and she'll cut it for you. If you can tailor yourself, or if you want, she will build something for you, make something for you, and that's why the dummies are pretty much up here for. Is to
Where did I put my script?
you show her what she wants, she'll make it for you, put it on the dummy, tailor it just for you, and come on the next day and she'll have it ready for you. So that was the idea. It's just the clothing, or if you just want something off the shelf, it's there. Custom stuff. That was the idea. She also
Study my lines.
makes the flags for other settlements. That's why all these flags are in here. So she'll make new ones, and she'll repair old ones, send them with the provisioners to different settlements, and repair hush hush flags we don't talk about, for those sneaky people. This was her room. They kept it pulled back on the decoration. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with this corner, so I just stuck like this back here to make it seem like there was something. Her bathroom, very minimal. She's got toilet paper, unlike me. Unlike the bathroom in the player's home. So this was the story of where all the cloth was. This is where she makes everything, fixes everything. And that's what that is all about. Gonna keep it very simple, very on point. Didn't go too crazy with it. Back here, this is another guard station. He leans up against the wall right here, and then waits for those gun turrets to go off, then he'll go help fight. If he needs to eat, there's noodles, smoke, grenades, if he needs to throw some around the corner. But box of supplies is to fix the guns, just in case they need fixed. And if things get really messy, grab this fat boy off the wall and chuck it over there. But yeah, here, so let me give you the view. So if you're a raider coming around the corner, this is what you're gonna see. So if the guy's in the...
I wonder if there are any meteorologists about.
Yeah, I don't know
I
either.
hope it does not rain.
So the guard's in the guard tower up above, and you got the two gun turrets in the pillbox. So if they come in, they're just gonna get mowed down. It's all part of the plan. Support on the house. All the stuff that's back here that you see, I placed it myself. So I wanted to just have one path. Everything has a purpose. That's a doghouse. But yeah. Everything, oh my god, I set out with the goal to do this, and I did it to probably 95% of what I wanted. But then when you get to a point when you feel your computer start to chug and it starts to hate you because you've put so much crap into one settlement, you gotta pull back a little, understand that not everything needs to go into one place. So if there was a gun pointing at my head and I had to redo this settlement, I probably would have kept it the same, just not as much detail, because you don't need a lot of it. I don't know if I would have done all these paths, but I mean, they all look.
Don't eye the Brahmin if you got any sense.
All right. It's all different. But yeah, that's I'm not going to do anything else to this settlement. It's pretty much set as is. I really just like that. If I was to think of like one thing that I liked about this settlement the most would be, I don't know, there's so much. I like the gunboat, probably my favorite thing about it, just because it's a different way of placing your artillery in a place where I haven't seen anyone else place it, is on a boat like that. So the whole possibility of this is to give people ideas. If you like what you see, I hope it gives you some inspiration for something else. I think overall that's what the Fallout 4 settlement build community is on Reddit. You post stuff, you see what people do, and you kind of remake it into your own image, better or for worse. But always gives different ideas. But this is probably, out of all the settlement building that I've seen, and I've watched a lot of settlements, people build this settlement, this is the most immersive. I can't think of anyone else has done it to this degree. But if you have seen someone that's done it like this, please link it. I want to see it. I always like to watch other people do something that I've attempted to do. So if you guys want to see anything else, just put it in the comments and let me know. So as that is, I am done with this settlement and even talking about it. Where am I at? So here you go. This is my map. This is my supply lines. The only one that I don't have in the Commonwealth, well, Spectacle Island doesn't count, but is this stupid one right here. They won't give me the quest for it. I have to wait for it. Even if I go down and talk to the guy, he won't give it to me. Like, hi, how you going? But this you don't, I didn't really need to put this, but made it look interesting enough. Oh, and by the way, this is all done on survival. I traveled everywhere in the Commonwealth. Everything that I salvaged from each of these places that I went to is all in this settlement.
The influx of data is hard to process. Apologies if sometimes I make little sense. I will work on this.
Thank you. The only thing I can tell you is that the build that I use for this. This is I called it the Admiral of the Minutemen instead of the General. She's the Admiral. It's pretty haywire right now because of I'm level 86, so I got stuff that surpasses 50. But the way that I started it was I did 8 strength. I want to say 3 precision, and then when I got the bobblehead, yeah, when I got the bobblehead, I got locksmith, and I did that. Nothing in endurance. That's from the bobblehead. And charisma went down to 8, and then nothing in agility and luck, and the rest of it went into intelligence. I think it only went down to like 5. And so the way that I built her was she was a rifle. She only uses rifles, and I had Basher in there when I was working her way up with Demolition Expert as my 3 main damage dealing for this character. So the rifles I'd use, I had a sniper rifle, so a rifle with a long scope, and then I had a regular rifle with like nothing on it. So I had a pipe weapon for a while with the barrel attachment, and then I'd use the hunter rifle. And all the explosives that I could carry, and then Basher perk, which is very tricky when using with low endurance, because sometimes when you go to bash, the gunners do it a lot to me. Gunners will bash back, but they'll get it before I do and instantly kill me with it, instead of me instantly killing them with it. Yeah, I mean, it's just the reasons for the charisma to be down so for the 8th, pretty explanatory. Inspirational for all your companions, local leader, and cap collector. I didn't get Black Widow until after 50. Medic. I wanted Gun Nut. Scrapper was one. I didn't get Robot Expert until I still started to do Automatron DLC. So I get all the robot parts, and then armor was in. I was already doing armor before. Died a lot. Experienced a lot. Learned a lot from doing this. Settlement building wise, building this character wise. I have no regrets. It's fun. It was a lot of fun. So for those of you who want to build on this level, don't be afraid. Learn what your limits are, and then push them. It's teach you a lot. All right, what time do I got? 10:56. Let me see. So those are my final words. I'll never do anything else with this settlement ever again. My next playthrough, I don't know if I'm going to do a Brotherhood of Steel playthrough or a Institute character playthrough yet. Thinking about doing a sneaky Institute character. But yeah, here's my red rocket. That's Codsworth right there. Unfortunately, oh. These are 2 settlers. They died. Wow. So this is the only way you can get these guys clothing and stuff is through this. Yep. Anyway. I think I have a mod that makes settlers not immortal. You want to talk about hardcore? That's hardcore. So a little insight on my Red Rocket. So it's going to be the robot facility where I build the robots. And then I was going to also make it a small depot. So each one of these platforms right here was going to be like a small warehouse. I was going to have storage in it. So that Abernathy and Sanctuary would connect here, and all the food would be stored, or supplies would be stored in the warehouses and then sent down to Starlight Drive. So each one of my summons that I was going to build for this was going to have a story and a purpose. Just how I was going to do it. So it's a big, ambitious project. And then I was gonna move. I'm gonna redo this because I saw when I was looking at Pinterest, I saw a truck like this, but built a little bit different. And this was gonna be the home for all my settlers. But I want to do a little bit different. Instead of making it a tube, I'm gonna build some smaller modules on it. It's a little future reference if I decide to do it. I'm not going to make it as big or make it as crazy as Sanctuary. But I think I'm going to stop it for there. Hope you enjoyed the Sanctuary build. I hope you enjoy my ramblings. The next time... The next live stream will be the start of either whatever I decide. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a Brotherhood of Steel playthrough or a Institute playthrough. Gonna be, yeah, we'll see. See what I'm in the mood for. But I got a couple of mods I gotta switch out and build another load order for this and get rid of some mods that I don't really use. So other than that, take care and enjoy the Commonwealth.